Welcome back. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Yet another controversial move by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as some citizens fearing a land grab of some sort by Saudi Arabia. Just a week ago, President Sisi caused an uproar by ceding control of two Red Sea islands to Saudi Arabia. Before that controversy quieted, the president decided to grant Saudi citizens Hamad bin Mohammed Saleh the right to buy land previously restricted to Egyptian ownership. The decision also paved the way for broader land deals, raising questions about its legality, safety, and potential consequences. Under the May the 26th decision, Saleh will be treated as an Egyptian and allowed to own two parcels of desert land previously owned by Egyptian citizens in Giza. Analysts expect some Saudi investors to buy desert land on the outskirts of Cairo and major cities in anticipation of rising property values to make huge gains that could lead the Saudis to dominate the Egyptian real estate market. Let's get the latest of this controversial move by Egyptian president from the Voice of America's Edward Yeranian, who is in Cairo. He joins us now. Thank you for speaking to us on Network Africa.
My pleasure, Adeshowa.
So, how important is Saudi Arabia to Egypt, really? That's what everyone is asking right now, that the president will cede this, according to a lot of real estate people, very expensive island to the Saudis.
Well, Saudi Arabia has long been an important ally of Egypt. Under former President Mubarak, it was also a very important ally. Egypt stationed troops in Saudi Arabia to protect its border when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait during the first Gulf War in 1991. Egypt has had close ties with the Saudi-led coalition, which has been battling to push back the Houthi rebels in Yemen. It's helped the Saudi coalition with several islands in the Red Sea, down close to the Yemeni city of Aden. And both countries have long had close ties, even dating back to King Farouk. So I think this is something that is normal in a way. And as far as the land goes, there's been a lot of debate over ownership of land for a long, long time, at least since I've been here for the last 8-9 years. And I don't think it's going to go away. And the islands off the coast of Sharm el-Sheikh in the Red Sea, that struck a raw nerve with some people. And it also struck a raw nerve with people who are looking to cause trouble, since there's been a lot of simmering discontent by Muslim Brotherhood people. The Muslim Brotherhood has been outlawed. You've got a lot of Muslim Brotherhood people who are living abroad who are, making trouble.
Edward, could this go beyond just buying and selling and to some sort of diplomatic ties and political entanglement, which could end up helping Egypt protect its territory? Or is it just an exchange of land and property?
Well, I'd say in the short term, it looks to me like one of the economic deals that the government has been working with its Arab allies, the Gulf states, as well as Saudi Arabia, to try to build housing units for people. The country's population recently reached 91 million, at least according to the media, within the last week, I guess. The country really needs housing units. It's been trying to sponsor commercial ties with other Arab countries in the Canal Zone, where they've recently expanded and are building sort of a commercial duty-free area. And in terms of the defense relations between Egypt and Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states, the Gulf Cooperation Council, there's been open talk for quite a while about a common defense policy, a joint military effort in various places, although it hasn't quite worked out because each country seems to have different interests. Egypt, that is, in Libya, and Saudi Arabia in Yemen. So they're working on it, and it's difficult to say where that's going to go.
So is the president acting within the confines of his constitutional powers? And if he is not, are there consequences?
Well, don't forget that the Constitution is new. It was reworked after the 2011 revolution. President Hosni Mubarak had a lot of powers that, perhaps may no longer be in the new Constitution. But that being said, I think most Egyptian politicians have sort of a sense of the leadership in sort of an imperial way. I think that's sort of a traditional Egyptian way of looking at the president. So perhaps he could have overstepped his constitutional authorities. Do I think that's going to really cause a political stir? I doubt it. Maybe a media stir, but not a political stir. Right.
We'll just keep an eye on this story and see how Egyptians are going to either receive it or reject it. And we trust you to keep an eye on the story for us. Thank you. VOA's Edward Iranian there for us from Cairo. Let's get some inspiration from a group of Cameroon's young technology innovators and enthusiasts. They recently came together in the capital, Yaoundé, for the launch of the much-anticipated first-ever locally developed video game, the Orion.
Developers in software, mobile phone apps, web and design was also used as a platform for people to share ideas and the challenges they face in the industry. The Orion, legacy of the Corée Ordon, is the latest innovation to showcase Cameroon's thriving tech community, which analysts say has the potential to make a big impact in the country.
The fans have been eagerly waiting for this game to come out. Almost every day, Cameroonians would ask us on social media when the game would come out, because they would like to find out when the game would be launched, as they want to play a game they can be identified with.
Cameroon has only 2 innovation incubators, not as many as there are in countries like Kenya, Nigeria and South Africa, but industry players say there is a promise. With over 50 hubs across Africa in more than 20 countries, experts say innovation has the power to boost economic growth on the continent. But Cameroon is a challenging environment for entrepreneurs. Investors view the market as too risky. An oil producer and the world's 5th largest cocoa grower, Cameroon's economy, though one of Central Africa's largest, is also one of its slowest growing. Entrepreneurs say they need more support, not just from foreign investors, but in creating a local environment that can nurture startups, like access to fast internet, loans and mentorship.
Today, entrepreneurs in Cameroon can easily create a startup. It only takes 72 hours. But the main challenge for them is getting access to financing and for the development of their apps. So they still need assistance with infrastructure, especially the fiber optic cables and the lowering of the cost of doing business.
While Africa's economies have in the past been driven by commodities and minerals, the unique wealth of innovative minds is expected to drive the future. In March 2016, the government of Cameroon announced that it was looking into new projects that would boost the development of the digital economy, but gave no specific plans or timelines.
Let's take a break on Network Africa. When we come back, South African government continues to reassure its citizens there's nothing to worry about after the United States sent out a warning of possible terror attacks in the country. We'll bring you the latest from Johannesburg.